culprit behind the pollution that caused unscheduled water cuts in parts of Selangor and Kuala Lumpur is a repeat offender.
Everyone knows how dirty Gaya Island is because of the waste. I wish to solve, together with the government, the issue of plastic waste of Gaya Island. I am very concerned about the plastic situation getting worse. There is more plastic year after year. There is nobody to clean it. Each family uses 5 plastic bottles per day.
Hello, my name is Altalarik.
Good day everyone, my name is Rishmithaa Chandran.
Hello everyone, my name is Darshini.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and greetings to Sir Zamzuri and all my friends. My name is Luqman Hazim.
Good evening to Sir Zamzuri and my beloved friends. My name is Ashraf Ali and I'll be doing the introduction to what is water pollution. Now, water pollution is one of the most notorious pollution in this world that hasn't been resolved yet, because when you see in air pollution and also other pollutions such as noise pollution and everything, there is a solution that can be implemented. But when it comes to water pollution, it's very hard to control. Why is it hard to control when you ask it? It's because of the water is an open source for people to just throw everything in. So there is no close monitoring towards what's happening in the water. So when you see in air pollution and also noise pollution or light pollution, you have a clear, distinctive solution towards it. For example, air pollution, you know that substances that is harmful substances cannot be released by some factories or cars. So the gas emissions must be certified to be safe for human beings to breathe in, and also the natural substances around us to be survived, and also the natural substances around us to be surviving in. But when you compare it to water pollution, we don't know how to dispose our waste very well and also accordingly, because there is no a clear, distinct way to say that this water pollution can be controlled, because there is no correct directory on how to handle our waste and where to just throw them. Now, the piling up of garbages in landfill is enough to say that, because some of the companies, they take an easy way out to just go out and throw their waste into the water. When they dispose it into the water, it becomes a very big problem. Now, when you're talking about problems, this is one of the most important problems that we really need to talk about, because when you compare it to the third world country, they don't have water, they don't have enough natural resources to be living in. How are they going to drink waters that are contaminated? Now, the same thing will happen to our country and also other international countries who are first world country and also the upcoming second world countries. These countries need some enlightenment towards this, because if you know that you can treat the water much more better and everything, but it's going to get worse and worse, and we are just going to promote some unhealthy lifestyle in our country and also in other countries too. Now, we're talking about how we are going to look toward this. Now, I'll pass the mic to my friend.
Why water pollution happens? Okay, the World Health Organization WHO says that polluted water is water whose composition has been changed to the extent that it is unusable. Water pollution happens when toxic substances enter water bodies such as lakes, rivers, oceans, and so on, getting dissolved in them, lying suspended in the water, or depositing on the bed. This degrades the quality of water. Not only does this spell disaster for aquatic ecosystem, the pollutants also seep out and reach the groundwater, which might end up in our household and contaminate water we use in our daily activities, including drinking.
I want to share something about the steps took to prevent the water pollution. So the first point is Do not pour fat and grease down the drain. This is because grease, fat and also used cooking oil should be disposed of in the trash or keep it in a fat jar for disposal with other solid waste. Your pipes might clog if you throw them just like that, and this may cause sewer pipes to clog and back up into yards and basement. The waste also contaminates local bodies of water. Moving forward, we must report water polluter. Many cases of illegal water disposal and other forms of water pollution go unreported and often are not being cleaned up. Report people who pour oil in storm drains, toss bags of trash in a stream, and so on. Also, report people who are involved in water pollution as well. Lastly, we must support environmental charities. No matter where you live in the country, there are going to be a lot of charities working on watershed protection, water pollution cleanup and similar causes. So find an organization that active in your area and make a donation every year, so your support may even lead to expanded anti-pollution work. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Nowadays, water pollution comes and goes and sometimes it's changing for the environment. Thus, it changes always for the start and after the water pollution. Means the source of the water becomes dark and gloomy. And all because some people don't take care of the water, for example, riverside, sea, drains, and also lake. It shows the water pollution getting many of the effects from the oil, rubbish and toxic waste. So, which is a way to prevent the water pollution from spreading. As for that, water pollution can give risks to others as well, for example, living things. Hence, this is the step to prevent water pollution. Firstly, pick up the litter and throw it away in a garbage can, for example, plastic, cans, and also paper. Secondly, blow or sweep filters back into the grass if it gets onto pavement areas, so that it will affect the water such as sea, lake, river, and drain. Thirdly, mulch and compost grass or yard waste from the water to avoid spread across the river or drain, so it will not living things die, for example, plants and fishes. However, wash your car on outdoor equipment where it can flow to a grass or grass area instead of a street. For example, porch and backyard, so that people do not waste water.
It will affect the destruction of biodiversity, which means water pollution depletes aquatic ecosystems and triggers unbridled proliferation of phytoplankton in lakes. Next, contamination of food chain. This is said because fishing in polluted waters and the use of water for livestock, farming and agriculture can introduce toxins into food that can be harmful to our health when eaten. Next, lack of potable water. The Ayah Selangor says many people around Malaysia have no access to clean water to drink or sanitation, particularly in rural areas. Other than that, if water pollution is not prevented, it may also cause diseases to people who have no option but to drink contaminated water, exposing them to diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, hepatitis A and also dysentery. Next, infant mortality. According to Ayah Selangor, diarrheal disease linked to lack of hygiene cause of death.
Untreated water may contain any number of contaminants such as bacteria, viruses, parasites, heavy metals, pesticides, fertilizers, and human and animal waste. These contaminants are rarely visible to the naked eye and may cause a variety of ailments, including diarrhea, stomach cramps, vomiting, and even pneumonia. Some contaminants, such as arsenic, are even known as carcinogens, which can potentially contribute to a cancer. The risk of drinking untreated water are significant. Negative effects are due to the presence of pathogens and toxic chemical compounds in wastewater. Other than that, irrigation with treated wastewater poses a number of potential risks to human health via consumption or exposure to the pathogenic microorganisms, heavy metals, harmful organic chemicals.
Malaysia get a normal effect of the water pollution. So, water access investment has been impacted for the financial improvement in the country during the previous many years. Water pollution is a major problem in the global environment. This is a continuing assessment in the review of water resource of the policy level. So, the main objective for the effect of water pollution, investigate the major resource of water pollution, water resource policy and challenge improve the water quality in Malaysia. So the finding indicate of the major problem ecosystem water pollution that the human health and the kidney can be adversely affected if the pollution of water consumed regularly. So overall the problem ecosystem the water pollution, and we are affected by a poor blood calculation, skin lesion, vomiting, cholera, and then gastrointestinal of damage in our health because of effect of the water pollution. So it's also highlighted the residential agriculture industry with the three main sources of the river pollution in Malaysia. This article we identified several challenges found in Malaysia. Finally, we discuss our water resource in place in Malaysia. We provide two recommendations and we helpful the policy and any agency to make a event to save a water pollution in Malaysia.
So I'm going to talk about global steps towards water pollution. So the first one is, be careful about what you throw down to your sink or toilet. Do not throw paints, oils or other forms of litter down the drain. The second one is, universities can have more plants in their area so they can prevent fertilizer, pesticides and contaminated water from running off into nearby water sources. The next one is, conserve water by turning off the tap when running water is not necessary. This can prevent water shortages and reduces the amount of contaminated water that needs treatment. The last one is individual efforts and educative campaigns. There are immeasurable ways individuals and groups can take initiative or educate people by doing campaign or awareness towards this pollution. The awareness of dangers of water pollution can educate family, friends, and even the society as a whole join campaigns and advocacy. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now, talking about the water pollution in this country, we have come to the conclusion of it. So, what are the steps that we can take to make our waters much consumable? Now, what have my friends said is that we need to treat the waters as part of our life. It's very important. And one day, it's going to become really expensive, so we can't even afford it. Now, talking about all of this, life does matter, and we need to control the lives not only of human beings but also of the sea creatures that's living in there. Treating the water. Now, the treatment of water takes a huge process and a huge sum of money from the corporations. Now, it may be seen like, oh, they're using that money, they are getting much more profit. Why they can't do this? How about the wages that they need to pay for the workers? Now, we have just looked at the economic standpoint. Now we're looking at the basic standpoint of some. The basic standpoint of some of us is that we need to really be careful. Follow the steps that we have said to you, to not throw any harmful substances through the sewage or litter everywhere. Pour fat into the sink. And corporations must really take a really good care of what are the wastes that they are disposing into the water, into the river, into the sea. This can lead into various different problems in the future, not only for us who is living right now, but for our future generations. If we are not going to promote a safety, if we are not going to promote a safe environment, or we are not going to promote a safe life to be living in, and what is the point of us that God has given us the opportunity to live in this country, in this world. And that's all from me and all of us. And that's all from all of us. Thank you. Now, talking about the water pollution in this country, we have come to the conclusion of it. So, what are the steps that we can take to make our waters much consumable? Now, what have my friends said is that we need to treat the waters as part of our life. It's very important. And one day, it's going to become really expensive, so we can't even afford it. Now, talking about all of this, life does matter, and we need to control the lives not only of human beings but also of the sea creatures that's living in there. Treating the water. Now, the treatment of water takes a huge process and a huge sum of money from the corporations. Now, it may be seen like, oh, they're using that money, they are getting much more profit, why they can't do this? How about the wages that they need to pay for the workers? Now, we have just looked at the economic standpoint. Now we're looking at the basic standpoint. The basic standpoint of some of us is that we need to really be careful. Follow the steps that we have said to you, to not throw any harmful substances through the sewage or litter everywhere, pour fat into the sink, and corporations must really take a really good care of what are the wastes that they are disposing into the water, into the river, into the sea. This can lead into various different problems in the future, not only for us who is living right now, but for our future generations. If we are not going to promote a safe environment